Good morning. Welcome to Transforming Soul Walks by me, Camilla Gisslow. I'm not in the woods today because the mosquito, they really ate me. So this morning I'm down here by the beach instead. Right now I'm walking by the little lakes that are down here and try to sort of get away from the wind. It's not that windy today, but the headphone is a little sensitive, or the microphone is sensitive. But anyway, so today we're down here on the beach. It's 5:15, I think. My goal was to get up at 4:30, but I have such a problem to get up early in the morning. I really do. But here we are. See, I don't really have a topic for today, but I was thinking a lot last night about the walk yesterday and why it got so sensitive when I talked about separation anxiety and me standing there on the balcony watching Ian leave, and also thinking about those times when my kids were going to see their dad. The few times they did see him, he wasn't so keen on being a parent, and how I could not leave until I could not see the train anymore, hear the train. And so I was wondering about that when I drove home yesterday and last night, thinking about why it touched me or moved me to tears like that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about echoes from the past. Probably talked about it before, but that's the way it is. You repeat things, or it's good to repeat things, because sometimes when we listen to something or we read something, it doesn't stick, or it doesn't, how do I say it? Maybe that wasn't what was needed to be listened to at the time, because, I do my soul work every day, every morning, every day, and I'm listening to my soul people, mainly women, and sometimes I listen to a pod several times, like the same pod several times in a week, because I know that I hear something new every time. So it's important to repeat. Oh my God, there's so many rabbits and babies. Look there. See if they jump look, little baby rabbit. And there's a little baby rabbit. Yeah, we have so many rabbits here in Malmö and down by the beach. Anyway, so it's good to repeat. I have to share with you this spot here. Oh no, they closed it off. All right then. This is one of the places where I'm gonna have my Soul Walks program, the Transforming Soul Walks program, and this is where we're going to start out. The first one in the fall, or late summer. And I'm looking for 5 people actually that wants to enroll for this program. It's going to be 6 weeks, and as it looks of right now, it's going to be 4 soul walks a week, and altogether 90 minutes, but the walk in itself is 60 minutes, more or less. But where we're going to work on different steps. So it's like a 12-step program. It is not like an AA meeting. Well, what do I know about that? I've never been to one, so I have no idea what those steps are about. But it's a 12-step program, and it's 4 soul walks a week, and where we work on changing something in your life, or if you're at a crossroad and you need to change everything in your life, or if there are some soul wounds that you really, really have tried to heal, but you've never been able to, or if you, whatever it is you want to change in your life, this is it. I'm going to guide you and help you and through these soul walks. And so if you're interested, just send me a DM or send me an email, and I'm going to put down my email address in the comments below. So if you're interested in that, just write me, because I really want you to be part of this. And I'm going to use some of the tools from the Camino, but also some of the tools that I've learned through studying psychology over the years now. I'm educated in trauma, depression, anxiety, and neuropsychology. So I'm going to use some of those tools as well. So it's sort of based on a, oh my God, I need to remember what it's, CBT, I think it's the shorten in English, cognitive behavioral therapy. So it's based on that, the program, in the way we work, just so you know. All right, that was a little bit about the Soul Walk program coming up. All right, I have to go back because they had turned it off the road there. That's fine. Anyway, repeating is the best thing ever, because that's how you change your behavior, and that's how you understand a behavior. And by repeating the knowledge, looking at it. And so this is also something we were going to do in this program further on, because you need to know why you react to certain things in order to change whatever needs to be changed, or understand it, because when you understand certain things like behaviors and why you react in a certain way, it's easier to heal it. Sorry. So driving home yesterday from the woods, I was just thinking about it. Why was there such a strong reaction to that? And we all we carry around a huge backpack on our backs, all of us. And one part of the backpack is all the norms, the social norms and family norms and society norms. That's one thing that you carry around with and you act out on. And then the other thing in the backpack is your experiences, how people treated you, your beliefs of yourself, but here's the thing. Even if we change the content from our backpacks, what we've learned about ourselves, through others. Even though we change it, there's always an echo. There's always an echo from the past. And the echo can be, I'm worthless. The echo can be, I'm not strong enough. The echo can be, I'm lonely. The echo is, yeah, I was figuring out what was my echo yesterday, and abandonment, heartache, fear, fear of losing what I love. But fear of abandonment, I think, is the biggest one, because I do this even with people I just met. I remember there was this guy here in Sweden. He lived sort of further up north, not so far, maybe 5 hours drive away from here, up north. And he decided to walk the Camino, but starting from his door. He was walking the whole way to Finisterre's, the sort of end of the Camino on the west coast. So I think it took him 6 months or something to walk that whole way. So when I heard about him, I reached out to him because I knew he was going to pass here in Malmö and have to go over to Denmark. So I wrote him and asked if I could walk with him for a day or two, because I was missing the Camino so much. And so he said yes. And so we went. This guy also reached out to him and offered him to sail him over with his boat. And so we got to do that. And it was wonderful. I love being on the water. I've had only sailed once. It wasn't really me. But this time I got to sail the boat, and it was wonderful. I loved it. Anyway, so we walked. Then the next day, after reaching Denmark, we slept there, and then we started walking. And I remember we found actually one of the Camino shells, sort of, showing that we were on the Camino. And we were just like, oh my God, look at this. We're dancing and screaming, and people just stared at us. But that was wonderful. But we walked that whole day together. And then in the evening, we put up a tent outside a little town. And we slept there. And then in the morning when I was going back home. So I was going into the town to take the train back home, and he was gonna continue his walk. And even there, I couldn't continue walking. I kept turning back and watching him leaving until I couldn't see him anymore. And I felt the same way, this sort of emptiness, and like my heart was going with him. So it's such a weird thing. And I do it when we have friends over or the kids are over. They can confirm this, because every time they leave, I always go out on the balcony and I'm like, bye, bye. And I stand there and I watch them till I can't see them anymore. And sometimes I stand there watching till I see their car drive away. And yeah. But thinking about it yesterday, I know, oh, that was a cute rabbit. It's sort of brown and white. It's really cute. But I know it comes from when I got to see my dad after the divorce. I was 3 years old when my parents got divorced, and I got to see my dad, I don't know how many times in the beginning, but the last time my mom took me and my brother to see my dad, I think I was 8 or something like that, or maybe 7, because my dad was such a bitter man. He was so bitter after the divorce and angry, and my dad had problems with drinking, and when he was drinking he got really angry easily, and so my mom, every time she came with us to see him, she just got abused verbally and physically a few times. So she decided not to go anymore. She said, if you want to see your kids, which I want you to do, it's going to have to be you, because I'm not taking this anymore. So good on Mom. And but every time we did see him, I think, you know, when you're a kid, you love your parents. It doesn't matter actually what they do. You just want their love and approval. And I also had some problems. Now you know what, I'm going to try and see if I can walk down on the beach. I hope it's not going to be too windy. Otherwise, I'll just go back up and walk the hiking trail. Oh, it's so wonderful out. Anyway, so I think it has to do with that, or I know it has to do with that, the abandonship that I felt from both my parents, my dad, but also from my mom growing up for various reasons. And I've struggled with that actually my whole life ever since. And it kicks in, and where it can sort of, the echo kicks in telling me that I'm all alone, that I don't have anyone. And with that, fear kicks in as well. What if this is the last time I see Ian? What if something will happen to him today? What if this is the last time I see my kids? What if something happens to them? So there's a lot of echoes and old fears, general fears. Because when I say it's an echo, I'm not scared of being alone anymore. There was a time when I was really scared of being alone. And I did everything to not be alone. And but now I don't have listen, I should have brought my towel. I could have taken a dip. I love taking an early morning dip when there's no one on the beach, and skinny dip. So you know what, I'll do that tomorrow morning. Fantastic. Sorry, I just saw this guy out there taking a morning dip. Anyway, so I'm not scared of being alone anymore. Quite the opposite, actually. I love my me time. I love being by myself, and I'm not alone anymore. I don't feel the emptiness that I used to feel. I feel content with me. I usually say that if me and Ian would break up, or if something would happen to, if we would break up, I don't think I would try looking for someone. I think I would just enjoy being by myself, seeing friends or doing stuff I want to do, and yeah. But anyway, so yesterday it was a memory that echoed, a memory of how it felt that touched me so much. And because I remembered what it felt like. The fact is that it's no more. That's how I used to feel, but that's not how it really is, even though I'm standing there. So maybe I can help myself changing that echo, or not letting that echo have such a huge part in my life. I can change it by standing there and watching him leave till I can't see him anymore, when he walks away. Or so I'm gonna try that and see if it changes something. And that's how you do it. If it's not painful for you, you don't need to change it. But if it creates some kind of pain or painful echo, flashback, or, they say that people that have amputated a piece of their body, leg or an arm, or they actually still feel their leg or the arm that has been removed. So it's like a shadow. And it's the same here. It's a shadow pain. It's a shadow memory. It doesn't exist anymore. So if you need to do a change to help yourself, that's what you do. You try to figure out, why do I do this behavior? Where does it come from? And really go deep and analyze. Has it to do with me being abandoned or feeling abandoned growing up? Is it a fear of being lonely, alone, left, not being important? Maybe I won't see this person again, because that happened several times with my dad. Hoping to see him, but his bitterness and anger towards my mom was more important than having a relationship with me and my brother. So that's what I did yesterday. I was looking into leaning in to the feeling and went deeper to understand it. And then I looked, and then I sort of sat down and was like, all right, can I change this somehow? Do I want to change it? Because that's really important. We always say that, not always, but I think you can recognize this, where people say they want to change, but when it really comes down to it, they don't want to change, because they don't want to change their behavior. They just want it to change, but they don't want to change it, because it's painful to change things sometimes. It's hard, because you need to change your behavior. You need to change your mindset. And we want to be, I was going to say stuck, but I mean, we want to be where we feel comfortable. And if we lived a life, and comfort is something that you know, and if you have sort of lived your life just knowing one thing, whether it's drama in your life, whether it is try to push your feelings aside through drinking, drugs, sex, whatever you use to numb yourself. It's not that easy. Well, it is easy, but at the same time it's not, because that means that you're going to be stepping out of something, a comfort zone, and start walking in a completely different country. I sometimes use this analysis. It's like you take your backpack and you go to a country that you have never been to, with a language that you do not understand. You've never heard this. Well, maybe you've heard the language, but you do not understand the language. You don't understand the culture. It's like so far, it's the opposite from your own. And then you're supposed to live there. You need to find yourself a home. You need to find yourself a job. You need to find yourself a life, build a new life. And you don't know the language. You do not know the culture of the country. Everything is so different from you. So that's what it's like. And it takes a brave person to actually do that. So I don't blame you or other people for starting and then dropping out. I've done it so many times myself. And but here we are. We acknowledge something that we want to change. And here, I just need to walk up here. I'm not alone on the beach. I knew that. That's why I wanted to get up even earlier. Hey. Let's see here. We're going to have some really nice hot days, so a lot of people walk down here, take a morning dip before work, or if they're on vacation. Anyway, so you're moving to a new country with a new language, with new customs, social culture. So that's what you do. So you need to ask yourself, do I really want to change? Do I really? Because if I do, I need to be willing to leave what I know, leave what I feel comfortable with, leave what I'm used to, and go to a completely different country with and learn a new language, learn a new culture, and build a new life. That's what it's all about. And I'm willing. I've been willing since 2010 because I knew when I started this process, I knew that I had to be completely honest with myself. I knew that it was going to be painful to change. I knew, just fix this. I knew I had to make changes. That was going to be painful in the beginning, before they become the new normal. So, but you can do it. And when you do it, when you follow through, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So, one, why do I feel this way? And when do I feel this way? And where does it come from? And what do I need to do to change it? Do I want to change it? And if I do, start making the change. Step into this new country. Step into the new country and the new going to be normal. And for me, I'm going to experiment. And that's what I say. I was talking to one of my students. She came over the other day, and she's such a great makeup artist. Well, the way, I wanted her to teach me to do her kind of makeup because it's so cool. So she came over and we sat and we talked this whole afternoon while we were putting on makeup. And she gave me some feedback and it was beautiful. She said, the great thing about you, the way you are as a teacher, is that you're not telling us this is what you're going to do. I say, why don't you try? Why don't you experiment and try doing it this way? And she said, then it's more appealing. And then you don't feel like there's a chance of failing because I'm just experimenting. I'm just trying something new. And I've never thought about it, but that was a great feedback. And that's the same with everything else. If you feel that there's something you want to change in your life, and if you're scared, why not just try? Try it and experiment with it and see what happens. And if you like the feeling, the change, what it does to you, because when you do change, everything changes. And then you stick to it a little bit more. It's the same thing with my husband. He's a vegetarian or pescatarian because he eats fish and shellfish. But when he became a vegetarian, he decided to just try for a month and see what it felt like. And then after a month, he decided to try another month. Then he decided to try a year. He tried a year. And then he just felt like, yeah, I like it. And he just kept on doing it. And I think he's been a vegetarian for at least 25, almost 30 years now. So that's how you do it. Experiment, try it. And then I also have to say, when you change old behaviors, it doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you. And so it won't be a symphony, like I was saying yesterday, when you change your behavior, like, oh, but there will be some resistance within you, but also resistance around you. And I will talk about that in the next one. So I'm going to stop here. And oh, it would have been so great if I had a towel. You know what? Maybe I should take a dip anyway without a towel and just air dry. Should I do that? Nah, there are too many people on the beach actually. I'll do that tomorrow instead. But anyway, part 2 of this will be about the resistance when we make changes in our lives. So I'll record this in a little minute and you'll see that one tomorrow. Guys, have an absolutely wonderful and beautiful day. I will. And I'm saying good morning from Malmö. I'm going to just show you a little bit. Here's this is where I'm going to take a little dip tomorrow. It is so beautiful. Let's listen to the water a little bit. wonderful. Oh, I'm so sweaty. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Kisses and hugs. Bye-bye.